Ladies and gentlemen, I want to share something powerful with you today. Something that can change the way you approach your goals, your work, and your life. It's a simple idea, but it's one that very few people truly understand. Never tell people what you do. We often live in a world where talking about what we want to achieve seems like progress. We tell our friends, our family, our colleagues about our goals, our plans, our dreams, and we feel satisfied just by sharing them. But here's the truth: talking doesn't move the needle. Words alone never create results. Action does. The moment you start taking consistent, deliberate steps toward your goals, that's when change begins. Action transforms ideas into reality. Every great accomplishment in history started with someone choosing to act instead of just speaking. When you act, you send a signal, not to the world, but to yourself, that your dreams matter more than your comfort zone, more than your fear of judgment, more than your desire for approval. Too many people fall into the trap of explaining themselves before they've proven anything. They want to justify their ideas, get validation, or share their plan before it's even ready. And while words might feel good, they often create pressure, expectations, and distractions. When you act instead of talking, you free yourself from the weight of other people's opinions. You no longer depend on their encouragement or understanding, because your results will speak louder than anything you could say. Every step you take toward your goals builds momentum. Every small success, every obstacle overcome, strengthens your confidence. Action builds credibility. Words build excuses. When you focus on action, you cultivate discipline. You learn to show up even when motivation fades, even when it's uncomfortable, even when no one is watching. There's a quiet power in doing what needs to be done without announcing it. People who take action don't need applause. They are busy building, creating, learning, and improving. Action also teaches humility, because it reminds you that talk is cheap and that real progress requires effort, patience, and consistency. Each day spent working, each problem solved, each risk taken quietly accumulates into something far greater than words could ever describe. Action over words is also a safeguard against disappointment. When you constantly verbalize what you intend to do, you become vulnerable to doubt and criticism. People might question your abilities, your timing, or even your vision. But when your focus is on doing, you are protected from distractions that can derail your path. You become accountable only to yourself, and every small victory reinforces your commitment. The satisfaction of seeing tangible results outweighs any fleeting approval or recognition from others. It teaches resilience, because progress doesn't always come in large, obvious leaps. It comes in small, deliberate steps that, over time, compound into extraordinary outcomes. In essence, prioritizing action over words shifts your mindset from intention to execution. It moves you from dreaming to creating, from hoping to achieving, from talking to proving. It transforms energy into results, ideas into accomplishments, and potential into reality. Every successful person understands this principle. The world rewards what you do, not what you say you will do. And the faster you internalize that truth, the faster you accelerate toward your goals. Your vision is the most valuable asset you possess. It is the blueprint of your future, the map of your dreams, and the reflection of your potential. Yet, so many people treat their vision carelessly, sharing it with everyone around them, seeking approval or validation. The truth is, not everyone is equipped to understand your dreams. Not everyone can see the path you're on, and not everyone will support the level of commitment your vision demands. Protecting your vision means guarding it from unnecessary opinions, doubt, and negativity. It means understanding that what you are building may feel risky, unconventional, or even impossible to others, but that doesn't make it any less important or attainable. When you share your plans with the wrong people, you expose yourself to criticism that can weaken your focus. People often react to what they know, to their own fears, and to their own limitations. They might tell you what's realistic, what's safe, or what's practical. But their perspective is shaped by their experiences, not yours. If you let those opinions influence your decisions, you risk diluting your vision, compromising your standards, and losing momentum. Protecting your vision means choosing carefully who you allow into your inner circle, who you confide in, and who you allow to influence your journey. It means surrounding yourself with those who inspire, uplift, and challenge you in positive ways, rather than those who distract, doubt, or discourage you. When you guard your vision, you also guard your energy. Every great accomplishment requires focus, discipline, and resilience, and energy is the fuel that drives these qualities. Negative comments, skepticism, and unsolicited advice drain that energy and shift your attention from action to explanation. Instead of defending your choices, you redirect your energy toward building, learning, and growing. You become proactive instead of reactive. You begin to understand that success is not about persuading others to believe in you. It is about believing in yourself enough to keep moving forward, even when no one else does. Protecting your vision also means being patient with the process. Many people want immediate results or instant recognition. And when they don't get it, they share their struggles prematurely. But real growth happens in the unseen hours, the silent effort, the moments of perseverance when nobody is watching. By keeping your vision private, you maintain clarity and focus. You avoid the unnecessary noise of comparison and competition. You allow yourself the space to experiment, fail, adjust, and improve without the pressure of outside judgment. Ultimately, protecting your vision is an act of respect. Respect for your potential, respect for your goals, and respect for your future. It signals that you value what you are building enough to keep it sacred until it is ready to be revealed. It allows you to move forward with confidence, knowing that your work, your persistence, and your dedication will speak for themselves. By guarding your vision, you create a path where distractions, doubts, and negativity cannot dictate your direction, allowing you to go risk with unwavering focus and determination. The silence is more powerful than most people realize. In a world filled with noise, opinions, and constant chatter, the ability to remain quiet, focused, and intentional is a rare and extraordinary strength. Too often, we feel the need to explain ourselves, justify our actions, or seek validation for the steps we are taking. We think that by talking about our plans or sharing our ambitions, we are moving forward. But the truth is, talking can dilute our energy, scatter our focus, and invite unnecessary doubt. Silence, on the other hand, builds strength. It allows us to concentrate fully on what truly matters, to invest our energy in action, and to cultivate a resilience that cannot be shaken by outside opinion. When you choose silence, you create space for growth. Every moment spent working quietly on your craft, refining your skills, and learning from your mistakes compounds into a foundation of strength that is invisible to others, but undeniable in its impact. Silence gives you clarity. It allows you to separate what is important from what is trivial, what aligns with your vision from what distracts you. In the absence of constant noise, you can hear your own thoughts, your own intuition, and your own drive. This is where true focus emerges, where the inner voice of determination becomes louder than the outside voices of doubt. Silence also builds resilience. When you work without announcing your progress, without seeking applause, you develop the discipline to persevere when no one is watching. You learn to rely on your own standards, your own accountability, and your own motivation. Challenges, setbacks, and obstacles become opportunities to strengthen your resolve instead of moments that invite external reassurance. People who embrace silence learn that the true measure of success is not in the recognition they receive, but in the growth and results they produce. They understand that strength comes from consistency, from persistence, and from the ability to stay the course when the journey is long and the rewards are not yet visible. Another hidden power of silence is the element of surprise. When others do not know your full plans, your potential becomes unpredictable. You protect your energy from naysayers, distractions, and negativity. You avoid the pressures of expectation, the comparisons, and the unsolicited advice that can slow down progress. By moving quietly and intentionally, you maintain control over your path, keeping your focus where it belongs, on action, on learning, and on improvement. Silence is also a teacher. It teaches patience, humility, and self-reliance. It allows you to witness your own growth without needing validation. It reminds you that real strength is not shown in how loudly you proclaim your intentions, but in how steadily you advance toward them. Over time, the habit of working quietly transforms character, mindset, and capability. You become someone who does not depend on the approval of others to act. You develop a self-sustaining motivation, a quiet confidence, and a focused determination that makes distractions irrelevant. In embracing silence, you create a power that is impossible to ignore. It is a strength built from discipline, persistence, and intention. It is a force that grows quietly but steadily, shaping you into someone capable of achieving remarkable results, someone whose actions will speak louder than words, and someone whose dedication cannot be shaken by noise or doubt. There is a power in letting your results speak for you. In a world where everyone is trying to impress, explain, or justify themselves, those who focus on producing tangible outcomes stand out effortlessly. Words are easy to say, promises are easy to make, but results cannot be faked. Results carry authority, credibility, and influence that no amount of explanation or persuasion can match. When you focus on achieving, when your energy goes into consistent effort and measurable progress, people begin to notice, not because you told them, but because the proof is undeniable. Letting results speak is about shifting your focus from seeking recognition to creating value, from talking about intentions to delivering impact, from dreaming aloud to building something concrete that others cannot ignore. Every action you take toward your goal compounds into results over time. Small efforts, repeated consistently, accumulate into achievements that command respect. By keeping your focus on execution rather than explanation, you remove distractions that come from external opinions or judgments. People may question your methods, your timing, or even your abilities, but when your results appear, those doubts are silenced naturally. Success, measured by tangible outcomes, communicates a message louder than words ever could. Dedication, discipline, and excellence are what truly matter. Letting results speak also cultivates patience and resilience. When you are driven by results, you learn to trust the process, to value progress over applause, and to maintain consistency even when recognition is delayed. You develop the ability to work diligently without the immediate need for approval, understanding that meaningful outcomes require effort, time, and perseverance. Each completed task, each milestone achieved, and each challenge overcome becomes proof of your commitment, a silent testament to your abilities, and a source of motivation to keep moving forward. This principle also protects your energy. When you focus on delivering results rather than explaining plans, you reduce exposure to negative opinions, skepticism, and criticism. The energy you might have spent convincing others, defending your ideas, or justifying your choices is instead invested into productive action. Your progress becomes self-evident, and the right people will naturally recognize, respect, and be inspired by your work. Results create influence, and influence does not depend on popularity, persuasion, or approval. It depends on the undeniable evidence of achievement. Another important aspect of letting results speak is that it builds integrity. Integrity is not about telling everyone your intentions. It is about following through on what you say you will do, consistently and reliably. When you produce outcomes without unnecessary explanation, you demonstrate trustworthiness, competence, and accountability. People begin to see you as someone who delivers, someone who honors commitments, and someone whose work is credible and dependable. This credibility multiplies opportunities, connections, and possibilities that would never arise from words alone. Ultimately, letting results speak is about prioritizing substance over appearance, execution over empty promises, and impact over perception. It is about creating a life and a career built on achievement rather than expectation. It is a mindset that shifts the focus from who notices you to what you accomplish, from the noise of others' opinions to the clarity of measurable success, and from temporary recognition to lasting influence. When results speak, there is no need for explanation, no need for approval, and no need for validation. Too often, people spend more time talking about what they want to achieve than actually doing the work to achieve it. They explain, justify, and promise, thinking that words alone can create impact. But the reality is that results carry the real weight. Words are temporary, opinions are fleeting, and intentions are invisible, but results are tangible, undeniable, and permanent. When you focus on producing outcomes instead of explaining your plans, you shift your energy from seeking approval to creating value. Every step you take, every task you complete, and every goal you reach becomes a statement that cannot be argued with. Results are not just evidence of effort, they are proof of ability, consistency, and determination. Letting results speak requires patience and discipline. It requires understanding that success is not immediate and that meaningful accomplishments take time to materialize. When you are patient and persistent, your work compounds silently, often in ways that others cannot see. The world rarely rewards chatter or promises. It rewards action and achievement. By focusing on results, you build momentum through effort, not through explanation. Each milestone achieved reinforces your confidence, validates your strategy, and demonstrates to yourself and others that you are capable of following through. The quiet accumulation of results becomes a force that commands respect, influence, and credibility. When you allow your results to speak, you protect yourself from distractions and negativity. People will always have opinions, doubts, or judgments about what you are doing. When you spend too much time talking about your plans, you invite skepticism and sometimes even sabotage. By concentrating on action and measurable outcomes, you eliminate the unnecessary noise that can derail your progress. Energy that would have been wasted on convincing others is redirected into productive work, skill development, and problem solving. Your achievements then become your voice, expressing clarity, competence, and resilience far more powerfully than any words ever could. Results also build trust and integrity. When you consistently produce, People learn to rely on you, respect your work, and follow your lead. Integrity is not about what you promise to do. It is about what you consistently deliver. The discipline to let your outcomes reflect your intentions shows that you honor your commitments, value your work, and understand that impact matters more than perception. This builds a reputation that opens doors, creates opportunities, and inspires others, not because you spoke loudly, but because your actions created undeniable proof. Another key aspect of letting results speak is the focus it brings. When your energy is concentrated on creating outcomes, you become more strategic, disciplined, and intentional. You learn to prioritize what matters, to eliminate distractions, and to devote yourself to the activities that produce measurable impact. Your goals are no longer abstract concepts. They are achievable targets supported by deliberate, consistent action. You stop seeking validation from others and start trusting the process, knowing that progress is measured by what you do, not what you say, and that true influence is built quietly through results, rather than loudly through promises. Too often, people spend more time talking about what they want to achieve than actually doing the work to achieve it. They explain, justify, and promise, thinking that words alone can create impact. But the reality is that results carry the real weight. Words are temporary, opinions are fleeting, and intentions are invisible, but results are tangible, undeniable, and permanent. When you focus on producing outcomes instead of explaining your plans, you shift your energy from seeking approval to creating value. Every step you take, every task you complete, and every goal you reach becomes a statement that cannot be argued with. Results are not just evidence of effort. They are proof of ability, consistency, and determination. Letting results speak requires patience and discipline. It requires understanding that success is not immediate and that meaningful accomplishments take time to materialize. When you are patient and persistent, your work compounds silently, often in ways that others cannot see. The world rarely rewards chatter or promises. It rewards action and achievement. By focusing on results, you build momentum through effort, not through explanation. Each milestone achieved reinforces your confidence, validates your strategy, and demonstrates to yourself and others that you are capable of following through. The quiet accumulation of results becomes a force that commands respect, influence, and credibility. When you allow your results to speak, you protect yourself from distractions and negativity. People will always have opinions, doubts, or judgments about what you are doing. When you spend too much time talking about your plans, you invite skepticism and sometimes even sabotage. By concentrating on action and measurable outcomes, you eliminate the unnecessary noise that can derail your progress. Energy that would have been wasted on convincing others is redirected into productive work, skill development, and problem solving. Your achievements then become your voice, expressing clarity, competence, and resilience far more powerfully than any words ever could. Results also build trust and integrity. When you consistently produce, people learn to rely on you, respect your work, and follow your lead. Integrity is not about what you promise to do. It is about what you consistently deliver. The discipline to let your outcomes reflect your intentions shows that you honor your commitments, value your work, and understand that impact matters more than perception. This builds a reputation that opens doors, creates opportunities, and inspires others, not because you spoke loudly, but because your actions created undeniable proof. Another key aspect of letting results speak is the focus it brings. When your energy is concentrated on creating outcomes, you become more strategic, disciplined, and intentional. You learn to prioritize what matters, to eliminate distractions, and to devote yourself to the activities that produce measurable impact. Your goals are no longer abstract concepts. They are achievable targets supported by deliberate, consistent action. You stop seeking validation from others and start trusting the process, knowing that progress is measured by what you do, not what you say, and that true influence is built quietly through results. Rather than loudly through promises, your energy is your most valuable resource. It is the fuel behind every thought, every action, and every achievement. Yet, most people give it away carelessly, allowing distractions, negativity, and unnecessary opinions to drain their focus and momentum. Guarding your energy is about taking control over where you invest your attention, time, and effort. It is about understanding that not every voice deserves to be heard. Not every problem deserves your immediate reaction, and not every situation is worthy of your emotional investment. By protecting your energy, you ensure that it is directed toward building, creating, and progressing rather than being dissipated in areas that contribute nothing to your growth or vision. People around you can either energize you or deplete you, and often it is subtle. Negative comments, criticism, doubt, and judgment may appear small, but they chip away at your confidence and clarity over time. When you guard your energy, you create boundaries. You decide who and what influences you, and you become selective about the environments, conversations, and activities you allow into your life. You prioritize what aligns with your goals and values, and you distance yourself from anything that diverts your focus or weakens your determination. This does not mean shutting out the world completely, but it does mean being intentional about the inputs that shape your mindset and drive your actions. Guarding your energy also means resisting the temptation to explain yourself constantly. When you feel the need to justify your choices, defend your vision, or respond to criticism, you are spending energy that should be devoted to creating results. Every moment spent defending, explaining, or debating is a moment taken away from action, learning, and growth. By conserving your energy and focusing on what truly matters, you cultivate the stamina necessary for long-term success. Energy spent on irrelevant matters is energy lost. Energy focused on meaningful action is energy multiplied. Another important aspect of protecting your energy is maintaining emotional control. Challenges, setbacks, and conflicts are inevitable, but how you respond determines the quality of your output and the speed of your progress. When you guard your energy, you avoid overreacting to negativity or being pulled into situations that do not serve your purpose. You maintain focus, clarity, and inner strength, which allows you to make better decisions, take consistent action, and approach obstacles with calm determination. Your energy becomes a tool, not a victim of circumstances. Guarding your energy also reinforces your resilience. It allows you to sustain effort over long periods without burning out, to stay motivated when results are slow, and to maintain a positive, productive mindset even when others doubt you or try to distract you. By protecting your energy, you prioritize your goals and your vision above external noise, ensuring that your actions are deliberate, your focus is unwavering, and your path remains clear. It is a practice of self-respect, self-discipline, and self-preservation, allowing you to consistently operate at your highest potential, creating momentum that cannot be derailed by temporary disturbances or irrelevant opinions. Consistency is the silent force behind every success story. It is not always flashy, it does not seek attention, and it often goes unnoticed in the moment, but it is the foundation upon which greatness is built. Too many people wait for inspiration, for motivation, or for the perfect time to act. believing that big results come from grand gestures or sudden breakthroughs. The truth is that real progress comes from showing up day after day, doing the work, no matter how small, no matter how repetitive, and no matter how challenging it may feel. Consistency compounds, and small, deliberate actions repeated over time create outcomes that are impossible to achieve through sporadic effort or bursts of temporary enthusiasm. Consistency is about forming habits that align with your goals. It is about building a routine that supports growth, discipline, and improvement. When you are consistent, your actions no longer depend on mood, motivation, or external circumstances. You show up because it is part of who you are, not because you feel like it. This creates a momentum that carries you forward even when challenges arise, when obstacles block your path, or when others doubt your commitment. Every consistent effort, no matter how small, builds on the last, creating a cumulative effect that accelerates progress and produces results that are greater than the sum of individual actions. Consistency also develops resilience and character. When you commit to doing something regularly, you encounter resistance, setbacks, and failures. These moments test your determination and your willingness to persevere. By maintaining consistency in the face of difficulty, you cultivate patience, fortitude, and problem-solving skills. You learn to trust the process rather than seeking instant gratification. You begin to understand that meaningful achievements are rarely immediate, and that steady, deliberate progress ultimately leads to mastery, influence, and success. Another critical aspect of consistency is credibility. People notice those who persist. They respect those who do not give up, who maintain their standards, and who follow through on their commitments. In business, relationships, personal growth, or skill development, consistency signals reliability and integrity. When others see your dedication and repeated effort, they are naturally drawn to your influence and your work. Your reputation becomes a reflection of your disciplined actions rather than empty promises or fleeting enthusiasm. Consistency is also a tool for clarity and focus. By committing to regular action, you gain insight into what works and what doesn't, what adds value and what distracts, and what moves you closer to your goals. Repetition allows for refinement, learning, and mastery. It provides structure and stability, which reduces wasted energy and ensures that every effort contributes to your long-term objectives. Over time, the habits you form and the effort you maintain create a system of growth that is self-reinforcing, making success not a matter of chance, but a result of deliberate and persistent action. Ultimately, consistency is the bridge between dreams and reality. It transforms potential into achievement, ideas into results, and intentions into accomplishments. It is the quiet engine that drives progress, builds skill, strengthens character, and earns respect. Those who embrace consistency understand that success is not about speed or luck. It is about persistence, discipline, and the unwavering commitment to take deliberate steps every single day.